All right, welcome back everyone to CBLOL, where I am joined this time by Axeman. Axeman, can you hear me? All right, let's find out.
I sure can here. Sorry about that.
You good?
What's going on? I'm excited for this one.
I'm also equally excited. Kaboom versus VRX is our fourth game of the day, the penultimate game of the day, and they've actually chosen to take away Camille Renekton for themselves, which is a little bit odd because they smashed topside yesterday.
Little strange, yeah. And to me, it kind of shows that they want to go for that jungle first pick here on the blue side. But the problem with the first pick blue side is that red gets the answer back with 2 picks. So if you give away your jungle pick, you're almost guaranteed to give up a really, really solid top laner, which is not what you want when you have this star top laner on your blue side. So it's an interesting situation to be in, but hopefully they get the best of both worlds here. They're going to pick up Talia here, first rotation. Red side answering back, perhaps with a bot lane. Here we
Okay,
go.
that is an interesting bot lane to be sure. I assume that Maokai is going support. It would be kind of odd to blind pick the Maokai at this point, but it is technically a flex pick that we should acknowledge.
100%, and this is a really good pick here, not just because Maokai is a very strong support, but also because he could be flex top, right? Maokai famously in Season 10, top laner you pick to shut down lanes. So if it does turn out that Kaboom are drafting a top laner that Maokai could potentially shut down, they could still flex at top, but it's certainly a pretty good support pick here, one of the better ones. If a little bit off meta, I think we see the Galio kind of rise up above Maokai in the last couple of patches, but still very solid here. Looking like Kaboom's going to have a Jace top. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that is clarifying the Camille and Renekton bans for me, because you may as well ban out the two strong top laners when you want to take the guy that is known for being a strong top laner. Not meta by any means, but still favored in the hands of any Koreans in the chat. Jace is going to be a big pick for Wiser, and Ryan this time is going to have a lot of burst damage on his very own Talia. They lock in the Leona last of all, which is an odd pivot, although it's nice to pick her up before the second round of bans comes through.
100%. Yeah, you want to get Leona in before the bans come out. This is probably the only support I would pick over getting an ADC out. Support's super strong right now, and things like Alistar, the Nautilus, the Galio, all these roaming supports are very, very solid. But there's something about Leona that's just the pedigree is a little bit higher, right? So you pick this just so it doesn't get banned away. But yeah, the Jace is such a great pick, especially when we talk about Korean players, and Korean one tricks are infamous. You know, you talk about Hooney's Rumble or any number of just these one trick players. There'll be Aurelian Souls and Challenger Korean solo queue that just dumpster people, and Jace is in that cast of characters, right? You said he's not meta, and that's correct. He's not super meta, but if you're good enough on Jace, it does not matter which meta. It's just a very dominant champion.
Yeah, you will just slam, and we've seen those explosive Jace games already this season, so I'm looking forward to seeing yet another one from Kaboom that looked like they really leveled up their play just yesterday. The other thing that I am wondering about, though, is who they will take in the bot side, because Ezreal's been banned away from them, so you can't just straight up play weak side bot, because you're not going to be able to just sit back and farm. You're going to be going into Senna Maokai, or relatively strong lane. Who do you pick up for Desave that will be able to answer that?
So you gotta have range with this pick, right? You're looking for something like the Jhin. If we're talking range, normally like Caitlyn, but Caitlyn's not super meta right now. So I think they're kind of pushed onto the Jhin here, but if they want to go full aggro, they're kind of getting hard carried by their top side of the map right now. So they could go for something like, I think the Kai'Sa's up right now, right? Yeah, they can go for the Kai'Sa, go for something like a Vayne and get a duelist run in here. That would be pretty aggro. That would be a pretty um, power move, a bit of a power move there. They'll draft the Azir here, so a lot of just high skill cap champions, and they're hovering a lot of different champions here.
I actually don't hate this Seraphine.
It might be fun. A mage bot laner could be really good here. I mean, we're talking about like, oh, what ADCs do they draft for range? And yeah, there we go, the MF locked in.
Okay, I respect it. You know, you want another source of AD just because you don't want to go too heavy in the AP with Azir, Talia, and potentially a Seraphine. Professor will be piloting, it looks like, the Leona alongside the Misfortune, so that'll be a pretty strong lane in its own right if they can get on top of people like Senna, but will struggle to do so. FNB, though, surprises me with the lock-in of Wukong.
Makes a lot of sense to me here. Wukong's really good into top laners that have single targeted targeted abilities. Excuse me. Things like the Volibear. Goodness, I guess the Maokai would be something with a single target ability. But basically, he creates the clone, right, and then can run away from it. You could do all sorts of things like block Jace's Q if you can get it off fast enough. You can eat, well, actually melee form Q as well. Something you could go for there. The targeted range W from Jace is something that you could potentially avoid. And the thing with this kind of AD caster Jace is that if you dodge a couple of those abilities, you dodge the majority of his damage output. Similar to a Volibear, similar to a Maokai with the Twisted Advance and all that good stuff. So it makes a lot of sense. It also, to me, says, okay, I'm going to try to outplay him, which is a pretty confident decision here, as the KBM top laner has been super dominant since he's joined this league. He just got here, so I guess maybe Topo didn't get the message yet here, FNB.
Yeah, we'll see whether this maybe disrespectful pick, based on the performance just yesterday, does work out, because FNB is a top laner who's relatively storied and has a lot of respect here in CBLOL, so we'll see if he can prove that or just get dumpstered by what is a very handsome looking Jace.
Yeah, that skin's pretty cool. Just going into Desave's pick as well, MF makes sense through the lens of like just power spikes. I mean, before this pick, KBM didn't have a whole lot going on in the early game, so MF's going to give them a lot more agency, if just on the bot side of the map, and a bit of a extraneous win condition too, right? If there's some kind of level 1 shenanigans topside and VRX gets a first blood onto Wiser or something, that would be disastrous for their comp. So this is a bit of a I guess a fail safe.
Yeah, you've definitely got somebody in Desave who can help you through those fights, especially early on, to try and give you, like you say, an alternate win condition, and it emerges in almost every lane, actually, although Wiser could be caught a little bit none here, as Was does find the Twisted Advance onto him, and
I
Wiser
really called
should
it,
be forced to burn the flash. Very nicely done.
Yeah, wow. You know what oh no way. Oh! There we go. That was close. When I said level 1 shenanigans on Wiser, I didn't know I was prophesizing there, but yeah, I guess they almost got him down there, but not too disastrous. They blow the flash, which is definitely important, right? No summoner spells blown here for VRX to get that down, but yeah, no, that's not going to be good. It's definitely not over or anything by any means. Check out the death bush that FNB is setting up. Yeah, no, this is a very confident play.
Extremely scary, as I am curious to see whether 4X continue with that tempo. I think it was a really good level 1 play, and if they can keep that up, I think you can catch KBM off guard.
I think you can as well. It's really going to depend on Wiser's just like abilities on this champion, I guess. We have to see how good of a Jace he is. You don't pick Jace for no reason. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you don't pick, in this case, Wukong for no reason either. FNB tries to demonstrate it right there, but does eat a lot of damage on the way out. Remember, he's the one with the Doran's shield, and in this case, the cookie popping up as well for both laners.
For sure, and this is a range versus melee matchup too, so keep that in mind. There is going to be some pretty rough trades for FNB, but a very good all-in potential, especially in these first couple levels. If you can get a clone hitting Wiser and somehow get him to stand still, it's a lot of damage coming out onto a melee target. But if Wiser just stays in range mode, he should be able to avoid most of that.
The fact that the Wukong clone can hit you has definitely messed me up on multiple occasions, because I'm used to back when Wukong clone couldn't hit you, and he would just stand there for a little while. It's very confusing, and it has definitely caught me off guard. I don't think that we'll see that today, but I like the little micro interaction that you can have KBM have decided that they want to have their own little micro interaction in the bot lane, though, and they take what is going to be an ultimately bad trade. There's a lot of sustain in a Maokai Senna lane.
There really is lots of inherent healing, lots of sustain, like you mentioned. So it's very good into the bot lane that KBM have drafted, because they drafted a very aggro, Leona MF early game damage, lots of heavy engage. So it's a very good bot lane to have drafted into this aggressive bot lane, because you have all this sustain. You could sit back under turret. But fortunately for KBM is that Professor isn't just playing this hyper aggro support, right? It's a roaming support. So if Leona just wants to get out of dodge and go mid lane, that's an option for them, or go hunt down the jungle or something like that. So they're not totally up a creek yet, but it depends on how this lane plays out, and really just the CS differences. By the way, fasting Senna
could be big
here.
here. Wasp with the twisted advance does dodge the initial jump back from Ryan and manages to get out alive. Very low, but alive.
And I can't remember the last time we saw fasting Senna. I know it's still like possible. I didn't know it was competitively viable per se, but I guess we're gonna find out here. They're doing okay so far. Okay, VRX.
Yeah, you've seen it crop up just a little bit recently. It's more common in those Senna Seraphine lanes, where you do have Seraphine able to pick up the farm from afar. Right now, you're opting for a little bit of an alternate tank. Nicely done from FNB. Eats a little bit of damage with his clone.
And I'm wondering if Was is gonna go for like a Moonstaff build, right? Because that's kind of the tech we've been seeing crop up with these different jungler support combos. If they both have any kind of like AP scalings or any heals or anything like that. We've seen the Ivern jungle paired with Seraphine bot or something like that, or like the Bard, and both of them would go Moonstaff. Well, they both have AP scalings, they both have healing, so there's potential for that there. But I think it would be a little strange for your support tank to build like Moonstaff. That doesn't make a plethora of sense to me, but to be honest, neither does fasting Senna, so I don't know. maybe
yeah, we'll see what happens, because Maokai has really been opting for the heavy AP builds recently, with the things like Imperial Mandate cropping up, his saplings obviously putting in a bunch of work in that department. So I think that there's a lot of room for flexibility in Maokai builds, and we could see some dark new tech pop up here, Axeman. Right now, though, Professor's going to pop up in the mid lane. Crashiel's spotting him out, and I don't want to say he's afraid, but he's probably a little confused.
No, I would be. It's a confusing situation here, Professor. Looking for it still. Remember, you got tons of time on your hands as a roaming support. There is no rush to make anything happen. You want to just sit in a side lane? That's absolutely... Or sit in the mid lane for a while? That's absolutely something that you can do here. Save levels up to 5. Got that XP advantage already, and here's a 3v2 on the gank.
Yeah, Ryan has shown up, and they know that they're spotted. Wasp burns his own flash. Very nicely done to trade those from Professor. Gets rid of the Maokai's ability to instantly remobilize.
For sure, and this is his disengage tool, right? With the Twisted Advance, you have a pretty solid engage, but you can't use it to get away. He just had the flash, so now he's all aggro or nothing. And
he might be looking to just straight up engage right now, though. How's the back with Yampi? That's a huge spear.
Yeah, that's your early game jungler there. That's your Nidalee, but man, that is all kinds of rough. But looking like Nidalee actually has I can't remember, like it's a Hextech alternator or something like that. But
yeah,
definitely not an item that builds into the Moonstaff. So they'll be going for, I can't remember what the item's called, but it's Rocket Belt, right? I think so, but not the Moonstaff anyway. So maybe not Moonstaff Maokai either, as they have a Ruby Crystal in hand. So
very familiar with the Moonstaff builds. Matsukaze and Was are trapped under the tower. Is a very nice Weaver's Wall. Keeps them in range. Ryan doesn't quite find the seismic shove, but the flash is burned off of Matsukaze. For all of that investment, you do get a summoner.
It's unfortunate. You might think, well, Desave is kind of a late ult. I mean, the wall was going down. They had just leveled up. So they kind of leveled up and instantly ulted there. and weren't able to get a lot of the damage off onto it, but it's a fairly low cooldown, and they did get some damage off, so they could, yeah, they're going to get this dragon off of the play, and that's all you need out of bullet time and Weaver's Wall, and they're well used for that reason.
Yeah, you get an early dragon here using what you already mentioned as the early power of the misfortune, and it's not like you don't have security later either. You're going to have somebody like Ryan and Weiser available to you in that mid game when Talia, Jace really get their damage. Everett, of course, has you in the late game, so you've actually got a very, very nice scaling power composition as Kaboom, and you've started it off right with an Infernal Dragon.
For sure here, and the more I think about Maokai and the Moonstaff build, the less sense it makes. I mean, he's getting all the gold, right? So he's getting like an 80 carries level of gold. Well, he's their only frontliner too. So why would you like build a bunch of damage in Helion? It doesn't really make sense, right? So we really should be expecting him to like tank up here. I think that makes a lot more sense. They're getting squarely out farmed. Oh, here we go. The ult comes in from FNB.
That's true, they are. FNB does get knocked back into Ryan, though. Yampi's here as well, but the Shock Blast goes wide. Ryan's still chasing down the monkey. Does pick up first blood. Seismic Shove not yet off cooldown, and Spear will whiff. Yampi should be able to get himself away here, even with the backup of Everett, but that was a very heads-up play from Kaboom, with Weiser booping back the monkey into Ryan.
Great play there, and just a little showcase of the response time that Talia potentially has. Just a very quick, very reactive jungler, even compared to Nidalee, who is very globally mobile with their Panther or Cougar form, excuse me. Oh, the spear.
Yampi's just not been getting lucky today.
Yeah.
Like, he's been playing fine, but he's not been getting lucky. Doesn't land a spear there either. Yeah. No, man. It feels so bad. Yampi is like the guy that you need to pop off on VRX. He is their chaotic force that wins them games.
Especially when you're trying to kill a champion that has a Nidalee spear, but it's also AoE, and also does bonus damage when it goes through their E, and you kind of get nailed by it, does half your health. That's insane, right? I mean, Jace, so much damage, and is like squarely out laning FMB right now. Just the CS lead's got the assist now in lane, 2 plates off the turret, all this good stuff. So the Wukong pick, burning the flash early, apparently did not mean much. Maybe mitigated some of the damage. I would hate to see how this lane played out if Weiser had flash for all of it. I think it would have been bad.
Yeah, he's already got like a 20 CS lead, so if you're safer than that, I cannot imagine what is happening. And now that he's got the flash back up, it is really his world. Does have the serrated Dirk as well. It looks like he's going for an Eclipse, which is far from being the worst build on Jace. This is very, very common and very, very dominant, especially into these melee matchups.
For sure, and FNB going for, I believe, the Triforce. I don't think you go Divine Sunder into Jace. That wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. There's also just like no front line here for Kaboom, apart from your support tank. So that should be Triforce if my math is correct. But Yampi, he's got a 2-level lead on this roaming support. And if that doesn't show you the power of the roaming support, I don't know what will. Like, the Nidalee can't fight this. It's so funny, man. Support is so overpowered, but yeah, Professor just running around the jungle, and this is the best way to play the champion.
And he's given over a lot of farm, a lot of experience to Matsukaze. There's a 2-level difference between Desave and Matsukaze at the moment.
Yep.
And that is only going to expand. Yes, it's fasting Senna, but the fact that you have to be stuck in lane with a support means that any sort of roaming from the other team is just going to put you so far behind.
And by the way, the whole point of fasting Senna is not that like we want a support to be really big. The whole point is that we're supposed to have Senna at the same level as the support. Oh, here we go. There should be a dive here top lane. FMB's in trouble.
Yeah, Ryan's got the damage here, but they don't quite have the wave. Weiser's trying to set it up, but FMB hasn't burned the clone yet. Professor has arrived. The seismic shove predicts the clone and bumps FNB back. Professor should finish this one off, and does with the explosion of the Eclipse.
So we saw a little bit of the counter potential there, cloning away the Jace Q that almost certainly would have led to his demise quicker. He died anyway, but so a little bit of the counter potential there, but the reality is 3v1, you're just gonna die for that one. We'll see what they can get in the bot lane.
The spear still missed. Okay, that
There we
spear lands.
go.
There we go. Yumpy should get this kill. We will give over his life, though, as Ryan has arrived to punish. The seismic shove is
Oh.
all but assured, and he picks it up with the last pebble toss there. Was decides to engage onto Ryan, but they've got the backup of Weiser, and this is very dangerous for Matsukaze. Weiser fades away, trying to get the damage back onto Was, creating a front line. That's a huge shockwave from Crashtiel, finds 4 members, but the damage just isn't there as Professor yeets himself forward, along with Weiser cleaning up 2 kills. FNB is being chased down, and he does not have the cooldowns available to him to escape. This one, a double kill is picked up by the Jace, and KBM can turn straight onto the Dragon after rocketing themselves ahead.
This is good stuff from KBM. We like the teleport plays across the map. We like the roaming from Everett down into the bot lane. All very, very good plays. Remember, this play occurred directly after a 3v1 dive up in the top lane from KBM, meaning that this fight sprawled the entirety of the map, and KBM won it anyway, right? With consistent numbers advantages across the map. That is what rotation is all about. It's all about using your numbers to control the map and turn those one fights into objectives. It's exactly what they're doing, and this is good League of Legends, Dia.
This is very solid League of Legends, and the fact that you don't even... I can't believe they don't even give up anything significant there. It's 1 kill for, like, 4 of them.
Yeah, I don't... I think they might, like, at the most, it was, like, 2 turret plates bot lane. I think that was it. And that's spread amongst 3 different enemy champions. So, yeah, they gave up essentially nothing for this, which is a very strong position. I'd like to see some structures go down now, but for a team that doesn't have a... Oh, here we go. Yeah,
We're going to see Yumpy go down at the very least. This guy's not had a fun game. Professor picking up yet another kill, finds himself at 2-0-4, as I think that we're getting fasting misfortune at the moment.
Yeah, it's starting to feel that way. I thought it was funny that they had 20 CS. I was like, that's a lot of CS for Leona. Oh, FNB. Gonna get it again here. Deciding gonna take this top lane turret. This should be first turret of the game, I believe. Yeah, got the Primeira Torre. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Something
that's
like that,
perfect Portuguese, I'm pretty sure.
for sure. No criticism at present time. But I don't think LS watches CBLOL, but if he did, he'd probably be tweeting about you shouldn't go Night Harvester on Nidalee or something. This is why they're losing. But I don't know if that's 100% why, but it definitely doesn't look good right now. Especially when you're not hitting the Nidalee spears, right? And I think I think one of the things we've seen about the Moonsap versus Night Harvester on AP carries is that it's like so even if the Ampere were hitting all of the spears, right, and they're not, it's still burst damage on a single target. And the thing is that KBM has 4 different carries, right? So even if you're landing 3 spears in a fight, it's not enough to kill all the enemy carries. So there's no point. You're better off like healing your team. You're better off like giving them more sustain within the fight and actually buffing up AP and stuff like that. And I think that would have been a better play all around. But I'm still waiting for this fasting Senate thing to work. I'm not sure if there's like a time that it's supposed to start spiking, but it's definitely not working now.
No, it's not. And I suspect we might not see it really go off this game. We've already have a 4K gold lead for KBM, and no real signs of giving that up anytime soon as they've rotated Weiser to try and clean up the bottom outer turret. One of the last ones remaining. We still have the mid lane turret that we expect to be going down off of perhaps the next Rift Herald. But bot lane outer is something that is the focus for now, as it give them priority over the Ocean Dragon in a quick and easy way.
100% here. VRX trying to mount a defense in every single lane. FNB not doing too well in his lane. Weiser going to be taking down this bot lane outer turret. Top lane outer turret fell a while back. And now they're looking for this mid turret here to get the trifecta. But yeah, they're trying to kind of control the map a little bit here. It's a minute 20 seconds till the next dragon comes up. And we're on an ocean map, so dragon's very important. Here comes the Rift Herald.
Oh, that's a huge chunk onto Matsukaze. You can't stick around for this wave anymore, and the Weaver's Wall, artfully used by Ryan, will cut off any backup from Wass's ultimate. 4 people get locked up there by the Senna, and the Dawning Shadow comes across. The huge shockwave gets everybody so low, and FNB
Ooh.
flashes in for the secures, but can't quite find them. KBM are still getting away. They've dropped 2 so far, and Weiser, very low on mana, needs to survive, but can't quite find the way out. Yampi tags him with the spear. Everett, you've got to turn around, man. You got to help Weiser. He gets the Eclipse Shield, knocks Yampi back in, and now he needs to dodge the last remaining spear. Cougar form will mean he can't throw him, and VRX, they do find a few kills there.
They do, and I think a lot of that was down to KBM just like overstaying their welcome. They were on the map for such a long time. You see several members of the team were just out of mana, and you can't fight when you're out of mana when you're playing a caster like Talia and caster like Jace, right? And it was good look for Vorax to see. Even though we're having this like Rift Herald drop against us, even though they're stacked as 5 and they've been beating us all game, they don't have the resources for to fight us right now. So we need to hard engage, even if it looks like we should lose. And that was a very, very good look there to be able to go for that, especially from FNB. It looked like they like ulted in space, flashed in, ulted and died immediately, but they ended up doing so much damage and disrupting KBM so much that it was a super good play for them to be able to do, even if they personally didn't get anything out of it. So that's exactly what you want is just kind of selfless play there.
And heads up from Crastiel as well. I know we haven't spoken about him too much outside of screaming his shockwaves, but the shockwaves have been really on point, even if they're not quite doing lethal damage. The setup that he's providing to the rest of his team has been really, really nice so far. FNB should be able to find the second tower of the game for Vorax, as he does have Yampi shadowing him, knows that he's safe to take this.
It's a great point about Crastiel too, right? Is just the setup that he's providing for his team, because most of the damage dealers on his team at this point in the game, pre 20 minutes, the Nidalee and the Wukong, not a lot of rank. Oh wow, not a lot of health on that turret. There's like 5 health or something on it, but yeah, 27 health. You see it up there on the side, but there's not a lot of range on these champions, right? Your Nidalee spear is there, and it does do a lot of damage, but you end up doing a lot more damage by getting up close with Cougar form and comboing with the spear. And then Wukong, of course, very close range there. And they have a very difficult time getting on top of KBM. KBM is super long range. You talk about Talia and Jace alone. And we saw that there in the back end while Yampier was trying to chase down Weiser and Azir. Once there was enough space between them, there was just no way for Yampier to get back in, right? Everett just zoned them back away, and they would have to end up walking through a bunch of damage to be able to get on top of them. And that's what we're looking at in these team fights, is that there's just no way in. And that's what the Shockwave is providing for Vorax right now. So it's kind of their go button, is locking everybody down for that 1.5 second lockup, I believe it is.
Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy to be like, an Oriana is our initiation, but outside of something crazy from WAS or FNB, it's really what you're looking for to disrupt a team fight and get it going in your favor. KBM, they're kind of missing everybody here. Have managed to find now Vorax, and a nice double shockwave will lock them up for now. Dawning Shadow does come across, but Matsukaze quite low after eating a spear. Ryan's chasing him down and does take down Matsukaze as well as Crastiel. They do give up what looks to be Weiser for that play, but the nice bullets time will dissuade any further fighting, as Was is going to be the next one served up here. There's plenty of damage to shoot through him, and you do trade 1, but you get 3. You're pretty happy with that as KBM, and you walk away with a nice deal at the supermarket.
Great stuff there. And once again, KBM on the run. Remember, this side isn't necessarily like super strong at this. Oh, here we go. Yampi's still in.
Okay, yeah, FNB is looking for the ultimate as well. Cyclone's
no.
up. Ryan just barely not going down as Yampi is searching for these spears, searching for the damage. Everett goes quite low, but Ryan gets taken.
Oh, no.
Sorry, rather gets the kill, and FNB still managing to survive right at the end there. Everett summons the turret to get them out, buy them a little bit of safety, but KBM are playing these fights so artfully.
Definitely. And Crastiel with the clutch, I think it's Command Protect. or something like
Hmm.
that. That's what Oriana says anyway. But to save FMB there in the back end of the fight, really good stuff in the teleport there too. But a lot of resources used to make that fight happen, just to lose Yampir, right? Not good stuff. But it's funny because Kaboom aren't like hitting tons of power spikes right now. They will be very shortly, but they shouldn't be winning fights. So that's why you're seeing VRX have a lot of success right now. Is that we're still not too deep into the game. However, coming up in a minute 30 is Ocean Soul here for Kaboom. And at that point, there's going to be a very big change in this game because Vorax aren't going to be able to win fights anymore. You see these fights sprawling over long periods of time, long protracted fights. Imagine if Kaboom healed like 100 health every time they hit something throughout those fights. You can't win a fight like that with your Vorax. It has to be very quick and very over very quickly to allow for that healing. And it's not something they've been able to pull off thus far. Even the fights that have gone well for them were still pretty protracted, still pretty long term. So this Ocean Soul is very much the priority for them. They have to prevent Kaboom from getting this.
They got 51 seconds to maintain this setup. Right now, Vorax do have priority around this river, and they're trying to chuck out spears and chunk out Kaboom, disperse all of those resources that you'd mentioned earlier as being so key for this composition. Get the mana low, but Kaboom are not buying into it. They are just playing the mid-pressure game, and they could just go for an objective here.
Could go for it as well. That's the thing about being on Dragon Soul Point is that
Baron's
you don't
pinged.
have to. Yeah, there you go. Is that you don't have to go for Dragon. In fact, you could just trade Dragon for stuff. And Vorax, if I'm Vorax, I'm running to Dragon right now. I'm taking this. Yeah, no, this is fine with me. You can have Baron. Um, no way in heck am I giving over Dragon Soul right now. But Kaboom are still pressuring it. They almost want them to start up the Dragon. And I presume because Ryan can Weaver's Wall over onto the Dragon Pit and potentially steal it. And that's kind of what they're pressuring right now. But Yampy's going to start that up. This is a 4v5.
Dragon's gonna fall for nothing right now. Professor needs to make the most of this. Does
Well,
find the flash solar flare, and the Weaver's Wall cuts you off. Makes it a choke for the bullet time. There's no flank here from FNB, and you do lose just one member for Vorax. Kaboom instantly pull the retreat onto the Baron. They've lost Dragon right now, a crucial objective for them. But can they actually get the big purple worm right now?
they really have to. The onus is on them to trade this back. It's a 4v5 for Vorax. So, yeah, here we go.
Okay, let's see what they can make happen. Professor's real tanky in the front line, and they get FNB out of there. Nice wall from Everett. Completely denies that engage, although Kaboom can't quite take the Baron right now. Ryan is trying to search for these kills, but it seems like Kaboom, with a little bit of a weird call, or a weird series of calls, rather, have just given up essentially a Dragon for 2 kills.
That's the thing. They don't have, like, a ton of sustained damage. They got a lot of burst damage. But to be honest, when I say they don't have a lot of sustained damage, they do have a lot of like just damage period, right? They have a lot of carries. So despite them not having like an Ash or something, they should be able to take down Baron fairly quickly. So I'm wondering if they're just worried that they might not win a fight over Baron, or perhaps they just feel that they have the map pressure to not have to force this. But reality, they just gave up Ocean Dragon for uh, a kill, for a single kill in a Crassiel, and that's not particularly worth it, right? But there's also just the fact that we're getting into the late game and Ocean Dragons aren't really valuable because they just give you regen and you don't really need regen in the late game. So maybe they don't feel it's a overly valued objective. But for me, the whole point of Dragon Soul Point be able to trade over dragons because you have that position of powers because you can take whatever you want. And this go around, they get nothing.
Yeah, maybe a little, well, definitely, I think a little bit of a misexecution we can agree on. Kaboom now are trying to right that wrong by pushing down the mid lane. They've got the tower given to them by Azir to try and get some more pressure around here, and they control vision in the river. So this could be them attempting to make a Baron play, albeit a little bit late, and Desave starts this one up. There's still plenty of people out here for Kaboom, but Was starts off a fight, kind of split from the team, and is going to be split from his very life right now, as Weiser does take him down. Ryan flashes for the last bit of damage on Matsukaze, but doesn't quite find it. Yampy is being chased down by Professor. The Weaver's Wall could be the follow-up that they need, but instead, they'll peel off of the Baron one more time and go back to the mid lane.
This is a huge misstep from Vorax, and they were kind of panicking, looking for the Baron play, looking to try and protect that objective. What they didn't realize was there's a forward turret in your mid lane right now. You do not have mid lane priority, and that means going for objectives is essentially meaningless, right? Because even if you get that, you're going to have to be pushing against tons of minions. This is your turret that's all the way up in your mid lane, and it's not even really going to be worth going for. You just kind of deny it from Vorax. You need to at least have some kind of mid priority. Also, if you go for the Spider over Baron and lose, you have a turret, once again, all the way up in your mid lane. They could potentially push your Nexus off of that kind of positioning. So you have to push out that mid lane before going for that objective. As it stands, they don't lose Baron, but they do end up losing a big fight around the objective. To be honest, Vorax gets off light here.
They really do, and I'm surprised that Kaboom haven't been able to push their agenda more. Maybe still struggling with a few growing pains on the team as they are working with a slightly new roster, a new top side, and more importantly, a new jungle to be calling these things around. Kaboom still in a fairly dominant position right now, though. Up about, let's see, what's the difference? 3, 6, about 6,000-ish gold. And we're hitting 28 minutes, so this is a sizable lead at the moment. And they can look to make the most of this still over the next 1 minute as we crush the next dragon, which I don't expect Kaboom to give up after what happened last time.
I don't expect so either, but to be honest, taking Baron and giving up an Ocean Dragon is a good play. You just have to do it, right? Like you can't just give up the dragon for nothing. If this was G2 right now on blue side and not Kaboom, um, I would say yeah, G2 give up the dragon and go take Baron and the game off of it because that's their playstyle. That's how they do it, and it's a good play. Okay, here we go. Professor in with the ult.
Yep, Was is going to get melted one more time. Now there's no CC for you, and Yampi with no CC is just going to go
Yeah.
down. He does not have anybody to back him up. Matsukaze has been the focus of Ryan this entire game and will get eaten up by a bunch of rocks. Now with Everett on the tail of Crastiel, I think Kaboom have finally bought themselves enough space and time to take this Baron, and it looks like they want to trade it for the Dragon. This time they get it. It's acceptable.
Yep, great play. Dragon does spawn. FMB and Crastiel should be able to take this, but you see the teleport come out here.
Yeah, double
I don't
teleport. Actually, they might not
think-
want to give this up. And I
Oh,
don't think you
there's
get the
no
my
way!
Lord, he
What?
steals the dragon. FNB goes down. Crastiel gets the fadeaway shockwave, but my lord, that is a game sealer.
I just what? Oh, Ever in trouble here, but nah, he's got Crastiel's out of mana. Ooh,
He goes golden. Crastiel, one
Oh!
more auto. Kaboom! With the flash on Wiser. Do manage to pick up
Oh,
Oriana.
man.
They don't even lose a member for that.
yeah, no, this is the definition of having your cake and eating it too. And with the Ocean Soul, Everett is almost back to full health here. My goodness, Dia, that was an insane play. You talk about dominance. This team is 19-4 as far as kills are concerned. 10K, no, 11K gold lead with the Ocean Soul and the Baron.
They have not even managed to reset with Everett and Wiser. They just teleported straight down here, but they don't need to. They're looking for the end of the game right now, as Baron minions are pushing into your base, and Desave and Professor are escorting the next wave of world enders for you. Vorax are not going to have a whole lot to say about this. Yampi, Ryan was standing still, man. You can land that spear. I promise you. Was this time does not get burst through, but the Nexus, or sorry, the inhibitor still going down is going to be a problem that Vorax cannot address right now. I think right here, Kaboom reset, and they just wait for the end of the game in a little bit.
Makes sense to me. I believe that's Banshee's Veil on the inventory for Yampir. And now Zani's Hourglass. And the build is looking strange, but I mean, Nidalee is out of the game. We're past 30 minutes now. And while they probably have some of the most gold on their team, they're not like super useful anymore. But back to Kaboom. Oh my goodness, objective control has been insane. Little bit of a hiccup there on the second to last Ocean Dragon, but it's all behind them now as they have everything on the Rift that they could have asked for. I think they dropped like the first Rift Herald. I think that was it, but it has been just total dominance from them this far out, especially just in terms of kills. 19-4 is pretty pretty convincing from my point of view. They're looking for the 5-man top now to break open that inhib. It's the only one left on the rift, and it will give them the double super minion spawn. Excuse me, once they get all of the inhibs down. So looking for this push here, waiting for the wave, and this is going to be it. This should be the fight here for VRX. They have to stop this push if they want any kind of chance back in this game.
And it's tough because everywhere else your base
Oh
is going to
yeah.
start collapsing around you. Kaboom are pushing in. They don't have the Baron anymore, so you can melt these minion waves, especially as Crastiel over the
Oh
Weaver's
no.
wall is going to make it a little bit more difficult. But there's no real minion wave there to actually finish off the tower. VRX do keep being able to play with this song and dance right now. FNB hard committing into the mid lane to clear out some minions is going to struggle when it comes to a potential engage that, as you say, VRX need to look for.
Yep, they certainly will. That massive Q comes through on the Metsukaze, but the sustain is still pretty strong for the Senna with the healing there. But here come the super minions in every other lane, like you had predicted. And yeah, I think this is just the old asphyxiation play here from Vorax as they slowly get constricted. Kaboom are like an anaconda right now,
Watch the
and they're
shock
wrapped
blast
all
from
the
Weiser.
way.
This shock
Yeah.
blast is going to decimate. Like, it's actually going to be insane. Oh, wait, hello.
Woo.
It got blocked by Banshee's Veil. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm so
That's why you
sad,
got
actually.
it.
I'm so sad. I hyped it up so much and it's gone. But,
No, it's good.
yeah,
It's good.
he'll get it back. He'll get it back. I'm pretty hyped on the amount of lethality that Weiser has built right now, and I think that Matsukaze just melts if he hits him with a shock blast. But unfortunately, gonna keep going wide. But it's exactly what you say. You get to keep playing this asphyxiation game until the engage comes in. Ryan does go golden to buy a little bit of time. Double Cyclone does net them the shutdown on him, though. Professor flashing away. Weiser can't go toe-to-toe with
Weiser.
FNB and actually gets shut down now. Desave, the last one remaining with the rest of the gold.
Yikes.
Everett getting flashed on, getting cut down right now, and Kaboom are losing a fight in the base of Vorax. Vorax managed to walk away with almost an ace.
Yeah, they almost get it. There's just one lone super minion. He's kind of getting ganged up on there back in the base here. But yeah, Weiser just couldn't find the space. We talked about that range that they needed to get away, and FB closed the gap super quickly. Was able to get right on top of them. And there was some shenanigans going on. Somebody had gone golden right there in the middle of the fight. Everyone was kind of waiting around, waiting around for them to come back up, and kind of got like just hard engaged on out of nowhere. I don't think Weiser ever really expecting that, but Weiser canceled a couple autos, and I know Everett canceled a couple of them too. And you can't be doing that in the fights, right? Especially when you're trying to kite back against a melee opponent who's getting up in your face. You want to get away, but if you're canceling autos, it's just a matter of time, right? Before they get on top of you, you need to be trading back some kind of damage. And to be honest, you need to get some peel out of your support, which is difficult when you have this hard engaged support like Professor. So they've been getting by thus far on just having too many carries to get hard engaged on, and being super aggro themselves. If they keep getting engaged on like this, Desave gets caught out here.
I can't believe he lived. Actually, what?
Yeah, that was close. That was real close.
It is the perfect time to get a chunk, though. 2 seconds on the Elder Drake. This could be Vorax going for it.
Yeah, they can't lose this either because this is how
going
you
for the end
lose
of the
games.
Weiser at least is going for the inhib. I'm not sure. I don't think he's got the minions right now, but he's going to clean out the rest of the base. Vorax are going to get this Elder Dragon.
This is not the trade, by the way, especially since Vorax can just go to Baron right now and perhaps have a shot at taking it. We'll see where the Baron's at health-wise in a little bit here, but I don't think they're close. Oh, they do get it.
Holy
okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that was pretty close. Vorax, no opportunity to be able to cancel his back. So it's going to be Baron versus Elder. And that's the thing, Dia, is that Elder still wins these, right? You need people on the map with the Baron buff to be able to empower minions. And if you're all dead, which is what Elder does, you don't have a Baron buff. So this is a bit of a predicament here for Kaboom. Their gold lead, by the way, has fallen here by about 5,000 gold.
That is, it's an impressive number when you look at the fact that it was like 10K earlier, even
Yeah,
more, the climbing your way back up from a 10K gold lead seems nigh on impossible. But VRX, they're making their best attempt at it, and they're actually looking pretty good in terms of their chances of coming out the other end of this. Their base is still relatively together. You've got your 2 inhibs back up, still 1 Nexus turret remaining, and they might be able to claw their way back from the very edge right now.
for sure. You got your support clearing waves top there. All your carries are on the map, absorbing pressure, which is where they should be. But
Teleport?
oh, FMB.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where this teleport is going. Was decides that he wants to go into Wiser now, but FNB still quite low. Has the Elder
Okay.
Dragon for the execute, though, doesn't quite get low
Oh,
enough. And there's
yeah,
the
got it.
execute. Wiser goes down. Ryan next to follow. That's
No.
2 picks that KBM have given over. They've got to be on the retreat.
Yeah, they do need to get away now.
Base is in
Perhaps
shambles.
making the turn. Yeah, the base. It's just no Nexus turrets. It's just the Nexus
This is
Celestia
so
with
crazy.
some inhibs. Oh, this is really, really close. But Elder is falling any second now. It's just up for like a minute and a half, I think. It's not very long. So, oh man, we'll see here if they can pull the fight off. The Baron, I believe, lasts longer. Yeah, it's still up for another minute. But they're gonna take the reset here, take that gold back with them, and allow VRX to get a little bit more gold under their belt before the next fight. The next objective that is up should be just the other Elder in 3.5 minutes. So not much to play for really, and it's gonna be a bit of a lull state, I would think. But
You would hope.
yeah, we would hope nobody like throws the game over a fight just around nothing, but there are quite a bit of objectives up here for VRX just in turrets, right? So they have a bit of a reason to push out right now and try to go for those structures, but a lot of incentive not to, right? They have their exposed Nexus, which is a huge problem for them, but I think they're the inhibs on, yeah, the inhib counts are at 2 minutes for top and 4 minutes for mid, so they kind of have to stay around their base for the time being.
And being this close to your base is not going to help you because you've got to set up Dragon for the next Elder Drake. That you've got to imagine that KBM are not going to give up nearly as easily as last time. When all's said and done, there's a lot of game to cover between now and 2 minutes 30 seconds from now. An explosive team fight can happen, but it is looking really, really good for KBM, even though they have lost a significant chunk of their gold lead, like you say, and as the Observer points out, their Nexus is still the thing that ends the game.
It really is, and that goes both ways, right? The gold lead, while it definitely helps you in fights, you know, those items are good in fights and everything. KBM just have to lose their Nexus to lose the game. So VRX, if they get another Elder, get an Ace, potentially they could look for the end there themselves. So this is a bit closer than the gold lead would suggest, right? Especially as we get later in the game, people start hitting full builds and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter if you have a 6K gold lead if everybody has their full build and is level 18. So we're seeing that progress as well. Minute 40 on Elder. And KBM are putting the squeeze on. They want to make sure that VRX have to stay in base.
There's a teleport
there's a
flank,
teleport.
though. Yeah, if they pick Wiser here, that's really big. He tries to take on Yampi
pick
for
on
now,
Everett.
but instead, yeah, Everett gets sandwiched on the side, and there's no help for him. Flashes away, and it looks like FNB might be able to finish off the kill here. Does
got
with
him.
one last auto, but there's a teleport into the base, and VRX
Oh.
have to turn around. Wiser's just going for the back door, and it looks like he's going to find it. The last couple autos will do it.
Oh,
But he goes
can he get
aggressive
it?
on him.
He
He
got it.
still gets the last auto.